Here's what's happening at Ewetopia Farms today.
So you can see what happens to the hay when it gets old. Would you please shut up? Yeah, give Lynn a spray can. These are all the rams that we hand picked out. If those hips aren't right, those back legs aren't going to be right. How much could a sheep eat in one night, you think?
Let's get started. As you can see, I switched the rams to the front paddock again today because I want to put the ewe lambs out in the central back paddock, and that was side by side where these guys were yesterday, and I don't want rams and ewes sharing a fence line. So these guys are out here. Supposed to have rain tomorrow, so they'll probably be inside tomorrow. So I figured this field would do them just for a day. It's just a small paddock at the front of our farm. Because it's a super hot day today, I'm making extra sure to clean out these drinkers, because in this kind of heat you definitely want to make sure that they're drinking a lot. There's Peggy. See that leg of hers? There's not much we can do with it. I mean, some people might suggest even amputating it, but I mean, she gets along with it, but it kind of just dangles, so you couldn't really put a prosthetic on it because it has no control. It's like another tail almost, and that's why it looks like she's got 3 legs at the back, because we left her tail long. But it's scorching hot, and we're gonna give these girls a new paddock today so that we can make sure or help prevent them getting worms by overgrazing. So these girls are back to the center pasture. As you can see, this pasture, those are just kind of like brushes that they don't eat, those like stalks that are sticking up. We need to bush hog this field so that it'll all grow back nicely. And this is the field they were in a few weeks ago that they'd grazed down, and as you can see, it's nice and lush again. And then this is where the rams were, and same thing with that field. It's pretty well grazed down too. It's just weeds and brush sticking up, so that will need to be bush hogged down as well. And that allows fresh grass to grow back in. If you leave the deadheads and stuff up, the grass goes dormant and it doesn't grow anymore. So you want to keep, if you have sheep on it, keeping it grazed down. But if you got weeds or debris in the field that they're not eating, you need to chop it down. Wait a few weeks and it'll come right back. So we've given the rams the entire other side now. They want to go outside, as you can see, but we put a double gate here so that if they jump over one wall, they've got yet another wall to jump over, and it's not very likely they're going to do that. But they do want to go outside with the girls, so they got to learn that they're in here to stay for a little while until we get them in their permanent spot. Right now, this is when we got lots of lambs on the ground and stuff, and we're doing crop work and things like that. Everything is kind of in transition at the moment. These are all the girls that we got sheared. Like I said, it's a scorching hot day today, and they're all inside. The door's wide open, but they just can't stand that scorching heat. So even though it's a white roof, it gives them a little bit of shade. They got really nice cozy bedding. They ran out early this morning when it was cooler, so most of them are taking their siesta now, chewing their cuds. And they will probably go out in the middle of the afternoon to grab a little nibble, and then they'll come right back in here again. And then in the evening, when it starts to cool down, they'll go out for their longest romp out in the fields. And this is little Mooney. Hi, sweetheart. Hi, you look a little different now. She's just got the little beige patch around her eyes and a few beige patches on her legs, but she's, excuse me, Diva, I can see you here, but she's hard to tell apart as having the little tunis in her. Oh, sweetie. Hi. You guys, you must feel a little cooler with your wool off. Hi, you must feel it. Yeah, you're lovely. You are. You really, really are. What a good girl you are. And you're a good girl as always. These are the next group of girls to get sheared. Tomorrow and the next few days are supposed to be rain days. So we'll probably be putting these guys through the chute. I know for a fact there's cullies in here because this is the pen that had lots of bottle babies. Now our bottle babies always look like higher numbers than everyone else, and that's because I top up all of the siblings on triplets, and if there's even twins and she only has half an udder, I'm topping up both of them. So I'm making more work for myself by not actually pulling the lambs off, but as you guys know, we don't have a dedicated area for bottle babies, and we do find that the lambs do way better if they stay with their mom. So just for the few months that they're on bottles, we put in the extra work to make sure they're getting enough. But nevertheless, I figure there's got to be 10 ewes in here that have to be culled out. I know this, we really like this Dorset here, but she's an old girl and she struggled to feed her lambs this year. So I know she's one of them, but as for the Suffolks, I really don't know. So we'll be doing that in the next few days.
So these are the ewes that the lambs came off of. I guess they're going to be shorn off in about 8 days from now. We have the shear booked in. Hopefully we get it. Hopefully we get it done. The pretty big heavy fleeces on them. So since they came off the lambs, they're just getting dry first cut hay. You can see in the bottom it's actually quite green. It's actually no moldy at all. It's not the highest quality hay, but it's just straight grasses. Good value to it for maintenance, anyhow, I guess you would say. So they're going to get some dry hay tonight. And these are the ewes that are going to the field. And Lynn says that the pen's kind of dirty. So I have an old bale, 2-year-old hay here. I'm going to roll out in this barn that they have a dry place to lay down tonight, that they don't have to lay in their own poo. So that's what I'm doing right now. And it was a real hot day, so I got ventilation going on the corn bin because the corn was looking a little tough and it's still not dried down yet. So that's been running all day, and I'll probably shut it off tonight for a while, and then I'll check it tomorrow to see if it's not acting up. So that's what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to roll this out. Hey Ben, hey boy. So that's the hay there. So they're going to eat that hay. It's just first cut hay from last year. I haven't got fresh hay yet, but this hay is actually quite a little bit on the coarse side, but it's quite green yet. And you can see the color of the hay I rolled out for bedding. To that, see how green that is? That's 12 months old, and that there is 2-year-old hay. So you can see what happens to the hay when it gets old. It just loses its color. Good for bedding. So everything is getting used in the farm, and they're getting better hay to eat. So, don't quote me on this, but when I used to talk to my feed nutritionist, I think he told me that even after 6 months of cutting hay, when it's 6 months in storage, it actually starts to lose, it's starting to lose its value. So I'm guessing that 2-year-old hay there has absolutely no value at all, except for bedding, mulch, or whatever you want to do with it. And this hay here is still good hay yet, but it probably should be fed up to bring new hay in. But you can see the color is actually quite nice yet. That tells me the hay is not bad. And you can always tell bad hay when the sheep aren't eating it. Would you please shut up? Really? Go and find something to do. So they're all eating. I don't know what she's doing, like really. She's a first-time mother and never even had a baby yet. And I don't know why she would be calling for anybody. So anyways, I'm done this barn here. These sheep here, there's 150 of them in here at night. And they're all in the field yet, except for the screaming sheep. Stop it! God, that's irritating. Hey, Ben, come on. So I got a little more work to do because I had to go do a sheep run this morning. So I have to catch up tonight. And crossing my fingers, I'm a little late. It's embarrassing, but it was a tough time to get started. But tomorrow morning, my last field of beans are going to go in. It's actually quite a unique field. So when I'm in the field, I'm going to talk about the field. It's a type of ground that most people don't like, but it has a lot of good points to it. And we'll try to talk about that tomorrow if I'm in a good mood. So, I gotta water my tomatoes a little bit. They're doing quite good. Remember, my dad always wasn't the nicest man. He had a few issues. But there's one thing I always remember. So, well, my family, they're Dutch, so they're heavily in the gardening thing in Holland, eh? So, yeah, and these beets, there's something wrong with these leaves. I don't know why it's doing that. I don't know if it's something in the ground or what's causing that. But they shouldn't be doing that. They should be, yeah, see, look, they have a blight or something on them. Yeah, I don't know what's causing that. Anyways, I remember my dad had tomatoes, and it was just terrible. They're all over the place. And my uncle was over from Holland, and he said to my father, he said, if you want to know how to grow tomatoes, go and talk to your son. And my dad was so upset about that. He just, well, people don't like to be put on the spot. I don't like it either. But it was just a bad thing. So I tell you what we are doing right now. So you see these little suckers right here? I pull them off. See, they're developing on the stem. I'll show you one. There's one right there. See that little one right there? So we just pull that off because we want that tomato plant to grow up in the air a little bit. And if I leave those suckers on, those suckers are basically suckers. They're pulling all the moisture and all the value away from that tomato. Because look at that tomato there. Already has flowers. Almost. See the buds? Oh, sorry. See the buds? So we don't want those suckers. And if you look right down there, right there is a little sucker. Take it out. Because that little sucker right there that I broke off is going to pull all the moisture away from those tomatoes that are being formed. So my uncle says, he says, if you can get 9, 10, 12 tomatoes on a plant, you don't want any more, because that's all that plant can handle. He says just let those 9 or 12 tomatoes form for the year perfectly, and take the rest of the tomatoes right off. Don't quote me on that. I don't want anybody to ruin their tomato plant, but that's what he told me. He told me a plant can only handle so many tomatoes, and if it has too many tomatoes, it takes too long to ripen the first ones, and the late ones are going to be so late in the fall you can't harvest them. So get about 9 or 12 tomatoes on a plant, beautiful tomatoes, and don't worry about the rest. Anyways, just a little lecture about tomatoes, and I'm not a tomato expert, believe me. I'm just trying my best. What are you doing, buddy? Meow. What are you doing, buddy? Meow. What are you doing, buddy? Meow. Want some cat food? That cat's kind of thin. I wonder if Lynn should get him some parasites. Maybe he has some parasites. Anyways, I better get moving. I'm way behind. So we took all the males out of here. So these are all ewe lambs. And you have to say to yourself, why would one lamb get that large and the rest of them don't? And yeah, we're not on tests, but basically I'm looking for those aggressive lambs that want to grow. So you can see a little bit of inconsistency here. But to be fair, some of these lambs are got a 3-month spread on them, a 100-day spread on them. So that's to be fair, yes. But see, some of these Suffolks are just bruisers, eh? A lot of big white ones in there too, Dorsets. But these are all, Lynn must have put a mark on that sheep for some reason. Yeah, give Lynn a spray can and watch her go. She should be doing some graffiti on the walls.
Before we go much farther with this video, I thought I would quickly address the issue of Lynn should put graffiti all over the barn. Okay, here we are in the main barn. See all that red? It's not blood. That's Arnie's graffiti. And here's the next post. More Arnie graffiti. I didn't notice this little post. It's got Arnie graffiti on it too. And out in the coveralls, yet further evidence of Arnie's graffiti in the barns. Who knows what they even say? But you get my point. Arnie's the graffiti artist, not me.
Anyways, but they're all ewe lambs, the whole row of that. And we're going to pick through there, I think, eventually. I'm just filling up a little bit of creep right now. Get it ready for the morning. I'm working late tonight because I got to plant my last beans tomorrow morning. I think it's the 3rd or 4th of June. I've never planted beans this late. I've always had my beans in May. But yeah, whether I'm getting old maybe or just too much to do, but I just could not catch up. I might as well look at these little rams for a second. So these are the keeper rams. These are all the rams that we hand picked out. So you can see there's no problem with length of the ram here. So what we're doing is we're just looking for those correct legs at the back, especially. So looking for the legs well underneath them. Looking for those big wide hips. Looking for those good shoulder on them. I know some people like the wedgie shoulders. I don't. I think the shoulders should fit in with the rump. So that ewe is probably 100 days older than that ram. Oh, sorry, ram. These are rams. That one's 100 days older. That one's 100 days younger. That's Hannibal. This one here, I don't know who it's from. These are all Hannibal rams right here, I think. We kept a few Dorsets back. See that Dorset right there? Looking for the perfect leg set in the back. That's a pair of good legs underneath that Dorset. So, and that little one in the end, oh, that's Tick. I don't know what's that doing here, but so these are all the rams. So they're be kept away from the ewes. See that ram there? Oh, that's a, yeah. Should clean that ram up a little bit. The rump, he must have had a little bit of the scoots, and it's dried up now. I could probably shear that off a little bit. But that's a real good ram right there. I'm thinking that's probably one of Glad's rams. So, where's Lynn's favorite ram? Where is he? That's a Glad ram right there too, from Glad. Yeah, see, you're not going to get it much longer than that. They're long rams. Oh, this is Lynn's ram right here. Yep, this is him. Yeah, that's a big guy. Oh, yeah. Shouldn't weigh him. I'm going to get the clippers and trim him up a little bit at the back. He's a little bit dirty. Yeah, I have to admit, I always pick on Glad a little bit because Lynn's in love with Glad, and I'm always thinking, gee, Lynn can't be right. But yeah, she is right. Glad is a fantastic ram. But that's a right there. I mean, you just look at all these rams. Like, which one stands out? That one right in the center stands out. It's not saying the rest of them are not bad rams. See this guy here? See his knees? Right, perfect. They're not toed in, not toed out. The hips are in line. If those hips aren't right, those back legs aren't going to be right. Which is Dorset, you see. See how he's a little bit toed in those toes, a little bit on the knees, a little bit inwards. See this one here? Anyways, I'm getting real late now. Enough sheep talk. I gotta move. People say Suffolks are dumb. That doesn't look really dumb to me. How much could a sheep eat in one night, you think? I think you've had enough of it now, buddy. We don't need you getting sick. Oh, look at that. Really? That sheep jumped right on top of there. I don't know if you got that or not. One more barn to finish. And you guys have to come in. Come on. Come on, you guys. Come on, it's getting late. Oh, they just have to do that, as if I'm looking for an extra job. Like, really. Here, then maybe they'll come back. Here they come back. Okay, come on, guys. Bedtime. Come on. A little late tonight. Just trying to get caught up. Come on, inside. Come on, quit messing with me. Come on. Come on, Ben, knock it off, will you? Come on, you guys, inside. Come on. I think I'm gonna get the scale in a couple days here, and we're gonna see what these guys are weighing in that. Come on. So, come on. Lynn always puts that snap on backwards. So they're hungry, and then shortly we're going to start pulling them off the grain a little bit and get them on better hay. And they're packing it back. See, there's that ewe I mentioned the other night. Right there. See the back legs? Perfect. Oh, I shouldn't say that. It's called gloating about yourself, Arnie. No, it's not about that. I'm just trying to show people if I could help some people what to pick for. Okay, that's all I gotta do here tonight. I'm out of here. It's late, it's getting dark, and I gotta get going.